Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Harry Muppet, and we are going into game number 2 of the Go4SC2 monthly May final. And it is going to be between our blue Zerg player, Hyun, down the bottom left side, and on the top right side, our red Protoss player, Welmu. Welmu doesn't sound that good, so I'm going to say Welmu. But Welmu's alright. I mean, you can't really say anything against Welmu. He did fumble a bit in the first game. Alright, he didn't fumble, but Hyun hit him quite hard, and Welmu just, he couldn't take the first hit. Well, technically the first hit was the Lings, but the second hit was the Roaches. And as I've said in previous games, it does seem to be a very favourable tactic in high-level play. The 11-minute Roach Rush. It can be off 2 bases, it can be off 3 bases, usually off 3 bases, but it's just so hard, so powerful, and it's very, very, very dangerous against Protoss and Terran players, and probably against Zerg players as well. We've seen it. I think it was one tournament I cast. It might have been the 3rd place game or the grand final or something. It was a ZVZ, and we saw some very fast Roach play in that as well. Actually, it was in the Zotac May. I can't remember who was playing in there, but somebody was doing some Roach pushes, man. That was an awesome game. Go back and watch that. The Zotac May final. Very, very nice Roach play, and I think it was game 3 and 4. Oh, let me go find out who was between. This turns off my sound, doesn't it, when I go into here? Where is it? Come on. Yes, there we go. It was Polt versus Snoot. Snoot, our Zerg player, was pulling the Roach Rush out all over the place. He was making great use of it. And yeah, that was an excellent series of games. Go back and watch it if you haven't already. The Zotac May monthly final cup. I think I had the semi-finals cast for those games as well. So definitely some awesome stuff there. Here we see a hatchery going down before the spawning pool. Now I've talked about this a few times because it really, the maths behind it is way beyond me, but all I can say is if you put the spawning pool down first, you get this queen really, really early. You can start to spawn larva straight off this hatchery really fast, and that's fine. Now a lot of players seem to be doing something different. They seem to be getting the hatchery first, they time the spawning pool to come out when the hatchery comes out, and then straight away they build 2 queens, one off each hatchery. And I'm starting to think that might be a better strategy, because getting this queen super fast as opposed to getting 2 queens a little bit later, I think the 2 queens is probably a better option. And that is just my opinion, and yeah, I'm going to stick with it. And yeah, maybe some pro gamers can come out here and tell me a little bit more if they think it's better one way or better the other. But yeah, it definitely, the fact that you get 2 hatcheries up as well, you get the larva out, and you don't lose that much on the queen timing, it doesn't seem to hurt your macro that much. So definitely the hatchery and the spawning pool straight after. I think they still do it off, is it 14 or 15 workers? I really can't remember, to be honest. I'll have to try and check that next game, if I remember, which I probably won't. There we go. Let's have a look. And going on, we have not much happening in the Protoss base. He's got a bit more of a wall in there. He was that Ling attack did some damage last time. He got in amongst the probes, and quite annoying. So he's got a cannon here. He can basically just put a Zealot there or a Sentry or something like that. It will be a lot easier to help off if the guy pushes in with Lings again. If player Hyun pushes in with Lings again. But I don't know if he's going to. He's only just getting the gas now, so I don't think he's going to get early Ling speed or anything. Quite interestingly, he's actually got the extractors on the expansion, but not on the main. That's a very interesting choice. I suppose it doesn't hurt. I guess maybe it makes sense because he's got his rally point from that base all the way over to this base. So all the new drones are coming over here. So it makes sense to have the extractors over there, but I mean, this base is a little bit safer. So I would personally say put the extractors on this base because it's less likely to be attacked. But regardless, I don't know. Maybe there's some other things. Maybe he's expecting to lose this before he loses that, so he wants to get as much gas out of this one as he can. So therefore, if he manages to lose this base, but keep this base will be mining gas longer or something. I don't know. I am just I am theorizing the living shit out of this game. I should probably just get back to the action. Unfortunately, it's the 7-minute mark and there is no action. So, really, what can you do? There's another pylon coming down here. We have a Stargate and a Phoenix coming out. This Phoenix, I am going to bet that this is going to go Overlord hunting. He possibly could be going for about 5 Phoenix, and they could be going out doing some damage. It's a fairly good tactic if you think your opponent is going roaches, because the Phoenix, well into the mid-game, if you manage to keep them alive, they can snipe so many roaches it's not even funny. The roach army moves across the map, and by the time they get there, they've lost about 1/3 of their forces to Phoenix fire. So it's a very good counter versus roaches versus the roach push. Now, it's not very good. Phoenix have sort of lost their ability to really harass the bases though, because spores are so easy to build, and we can see the spore collar, 2 of them coming up straight away. As soon as the Phoenix took out that Overlord, spore crawlers started popping up at every single base. So some excellent work there from the Zerg player, but I mean at a Masters level that's pretty much expected, getting those spore crawlers up. You would be I would say you'd be a very bad player if you didn't do that, but he's done it, so it's all we can expect. Now we've got 3 Phoenix up. They're not going to go in though. They can go in and try and snipe a Queen, but usually the Queen just micros back. The Queen will not run far away from the hatchery now that it knows the Phoenix is up, because yeah, it's just so easy. Oh, here we go, moving an Overseer out close to the Phoenix. That's not very smart. Phoenix love to get an Overseer kill because he's going for a scout, but unfortunately not. He's not going to get in there. He's not going to see stuff. And what is the Protoss player doing? He's continuing to chrono out the Phoenix. So the Protoss, he's got to be worried about roaches at this point. He's definitely getting the Phoenix out for roaches. As I've said before, Phoenix not very good at harassing bases anymore. You can see he's got all these Overlords protected, and if the Spore Cannon, that's actually a Spore Crawler. I like Spore Cannon better. So he's going to snipe a couple of random Overlords, but other than that, these bases are fairly well protected from the Phoenix. You can say he took 2 hits from the Spore Crawler, and his shield is already down. That doesn't seem right. He must have taken some hits from the Queens as well, I don't know. He's going to try and snipe the Queen there. He could snipe the Queen, but there's a fair chance that he would lose one of these guys as well. Yeah, I mean, these guys just must hit so fast. But here we go. Bit of a Protoss force moving out. He's kept the Zerg player sort of back. It's very, very interesting, the play by the Protoss player, because he's got these small forces, not really that much. He's got the Phoenix out, and he was expecting roaches, and that's also why he's got this Immortal, I think, expecting roaches. But the Zerg player, he outsmarted the Protoss, but he also outsmarted himself, because roaches could have saved him for this force, but he said, alright, there's Phoenix out on the field, I'm not getting roaches, I'm going to go for Hydras instead. And unfortunately, the Hydras meant it took longer for him to get this army, which allowed these forces to get out there and make an attack scot-free. Now, they only got 1 expansion, so it's not a huge mistake on the Zerg's part. It's not even a mistake. I think he just got outmaneuvered a little bit by the Protoss player, if indeed that was on purpose, that entire play. It may have just been he may have just seen the expansion with his Phoenix and just thought, oh, alright, I'll just go out there and hit it, why not? But there we go. Phoenix doing some good work and expansion getting taken out. Protoss has been in control so far, and the Zerg is going to have to do something to change that around. He does have the roaches out now. And the roaches going to move in, see if they can do some damage. They're not really going to be able to though. I mean, there's one Zealot there, sees them coming around, he's going to move the force around. He's got 2 Colossus so far. Not much in front of the Colossus, but he does have to be careful. This Zerg army has gotten very, very big, very, very fast. This is the 3 base macro from the Zerg player. It's just completely insane. He's got the Vipers as well. I can only assume these are to deal with the Phoenix. But yeah, he's going to back off there. He does not like the look of those High Templar and those Colossus. Getting storms off on the Hydras. He's going to be absolutely awesome. Is he going to be able to do it? Do these guys have the energy? I think they have the energy. I think it's 75 energy. Maybe not. They got a bit of a snipe off on the High Templars. They may be... I don't know what they're doing. I think they're trying to hit the Vipers, actually. Trying to suck the energy off the Vipers. Of course, Vipers against Colossus, not a very good option. Not a very good option as well. And I can't imagine he saw the Colossus early enough to think about getting the Vipers, but the Vipers definitely did pay off against those Colossus. And the Protoss player is in quite a lot of trouble. The High Templar did not have the energy to get off the storms they needed. The Colossus got pulled in by the Vipers, and overall the Zerg's advanced macro just enabled him to get a massive army early on. And it's basically just a copy of the previous game. The Protoss did a very good job getting a counter to ground forces. He got the Colossus up very early, he got the High Templar out very early. Have a look at upgrades. He didn't actually have Psystorm researched yet, which is unfortunate, because some storms there might have done quite a lot of work. But yeah, the problem was he went so fast into getting that Colossus tech and the High Templars that he did not have a massive ground army, and without a ground army to buffer the Colossus, to buffer the High Templar, those guys just went down really fast. He needed a large amount of Zealots, Stalkers, maybe a couple of Immortals to really buffer, to provide some protection for the Colossus. He actually did. He did have the range for the Colossus, but yeah, in the end, he just didn't have the ground army to buffer him. And once again, the Zerg, very fast macro of 3 bases, got a massive amount of Roaches, and he mixed in some Hydras there as well. He got Hydras first and then moved into Roaches. Is just did so much good work, and I really think that Welmu is going to have to do something. This is he's down 2 games now, and it was pretty much the same tactic that brought him down. A little bit changed, but I mean, at the end, the Zerg player got 3 bases. He built a crap load of units. He got some Phoenix, but Phoenix didn't really help the situation. He got a Hydra Den, and he got some Hydras, and that negated any sort of help that the Phoenix could do completely. And yeah, just he didn't even build a crap load of Hydras. He just built 10, I think. Only 4 of them are left after that battle, but it's enough. I mean, to deal with those Phoenix, that's more than enough. And yeah, other than that, it's just massive Roaches, and the Protoss player still does not have an answer to massive Roaches. He thought maybe Phoenix would help him, but Phoenix got countered so easily it's not even funny by those Hydras. And there we go, game 2 is finished off. So are we going to see a quick 3-0 match? Hyun definitely has what it takes to finish off the 3rd game nice and quickly. It's all down to Welmu at this point. Will he be able to counter this very dangerous, very nasty 11-12 minute Roach push? And I personally have my doubts. I mean, he's got up to the end of the game and he's done some good work, but the only thing I can think of is he'd have to go for some sort of really heavy ground play. I don't know, maybe double robo with Immortals, maybe massive gateway units, Stalkers and Zealots, just a crap load of Stalkers, fast Zealot speed in a crap load of Zealots, maybe. I don't know, there's a few options, but yeah, we'll have to see exactly what he does, and we are going to see in the very next game, which we are going to cast right now, because it's gotten to the point where I've got to see how these games are going to finish. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Hairy Muppet. This has been the Go4SC2 monthly May Cup, and we are going to head on to game 3. We're going to find out if Hyun can finish it 3-0 or if Welmu can get back into the game. Stay tuned, guys. This has been Hairy Muppet.